Today's project, we're going to be making a new lumber rack holder. Now, I have a perfectly good lumber rack here. It's made out of 4x4, some scrap wood that I had lying around, and it served me quite well for some time. However, I think I can do better. I came up with an idea in my sleep about making it out of metal, and with the 4x4 construction, I'm losing 7 inches just with the structure of this to hold lumber. So if I made it out of metal, I can probably get away with just as much strength and make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use 1-inch square stock to make something very similar to this, but just out of metal, so I'll have more room for wood. I have no idea what I'm doing. Never done this before, but I have an idea in my head. There's going to be lots of cutting, lots of welding, and let's see how she turns out. Start with the legs here. I've got some old rollers on the current wood rack, so just going to reuse those, but need to be able to mount them somewhere. I could weld it directly to this this square stock here, but instead I decided to get some 1/8 inch flat plate, and I'm just going to cut that into 4 sections and then weld that onto the bottom of the structure that I'm going to build out of this square stock. That way, if there's any dysfunctions or abnormalities in the floor that I'm rolling it around on, I can actually add washers to the bolts that I'm going to attach those legs to and give it some variability in its height so it can sit flat on whatever surface I choose. Okay, according to the plans that I just made up, I want it 8 feet wide and 2 feet in the other dimension, so that way it can handle a 8-foot sheet of plywood or something like that, or 8-foot board. So I'm going to cut 3 of these to 8 and then a bunch of cross members to 2, and we'll see how that goes together. And now we're going to try to assemble this frame as square as humanly possible using our little household welder. Alright, tack welded everything in place. Turned out nice and square, 8 foot by 2 foot, and now we are just going to finish up all the welding and do some more cross members, and then we'll work on giving it some height. So I just had a thought. Again, there's no plan for this. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. I had a really rough sketch of what I wanted to do. There it is. Looks a little bit crazy. But while I'm down here on the bottom side of this, I'm just going to weld on where I plan on putting and attaching the rolling feet. Kind of foggy in here with all this welding. Better turn the fresh air exchanger on. Oh boy, a blizzard out there. Best to stay inside. Okay, as it stands, I have my back verticals, my mid verticals, the top pieces that'll span both the verticals, and then 15 of the front pins. I also then have 2 and a little bit full length steel bars. Don't know exactly why I still have those. I did plan for a little extra so I wouldn't run out, but that seems like a lot extra. So we'll see if I forgot something. All right, time to get vertical. Well, just realized the missing bits here belong across the top, so thought I was done cutting, but guess there's more cutting to be done. All right, here it is. I think I got all the welding done. Had some spare metal and welded some side brackets down in the bottom here to help support the weight when I add some wood to the bottom of it. But yeah, so all these 15 pins turned out nicely and in place, and the structure seems pretty well sound. I think we're gonna have to take this in 2 parts because now this project is going to become a little bit more tedious. I'm going to have to clean all the metal because it is metal and I don't want it to rust. I'm also fixing on painting it. And then I also bought some end caps so that those sharp metal ends aren't protruding out and hitting things. We're gonna put some plastic caps in the end of here. And then once I get the old wood rack tore apart, then I will be able to drill out and install the rollers on the feet. So if you like what you saw here, make sure that you like and subscribe and wait for part 2 to see the finished product.